I was ready to surrender my heart to you, only you. These lights all around me keep blinding my eyes from you and the truth. Don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me why. I know, no, you won't save my life. Save my life. Baby, keep on your neck in the waves. You and I will never be safe. Be safe. If the walls come down, will you pick me off the ground? If the walls come down, will you save me or burn me down?
What in the actual fuck? Yo, what's up guys? F-Focus, and we're back on some Escape from Tarkov. Now, yesterday was pretty special. I finally got back on and we streamed a little bit. We had a great time. I actually had some crazy raids on customs. However, I did not level up my sniper skill as much as I'd like. So I think that if I'm going to continue to play customs, because there was some juiced players on there, I'm going to actually only play it with the sniper, so I'm forced to actually use the sniper because I'm actually trying to get to that level 12 skill. I'm only level 10, like halfway to level 10 now. But upon playing that, I actually had a question from a guy who said, how do you spot people so easy? And I get that question all the time. I get accused of being a hacker all the time because I spot players so easily. So here's just going to be a video telling you about it. Telling you about how I personally do it, whether that's graphic settings or some NVIDIA settings. And obviously just some tips and tricks that I use to train my eyeballs inside my eye sockets. Alright, so step number uno that we're going to get into right here. Is actually, we're going to go back into just some old graphic settings. Nothing has changed from what I had before to what I have now. And if it has, you guys can see here. Everything as far as I see it, right here is fine. I've turned my texture quality up. I've turned everything up like this. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. You gain some frames, but it's not like, oh, look at that, that's insane. You know, it's not like nothing crazy. So here's this. The big thing, though, that I wanted to talk about, the real important thing, is actually the NVIDIA settings, okay? So we're actually going to open up our NVIDIA settings right here. This is how things get recorded or not recorded and whatever. And then you see game filter. Now, if you have things set up, you can just click Alt F3, not to be mistaken by Alt F4, and you'll actually get that to pop up. All right, so inside Alt F3 changes some of your NVIDIA settings. Now you can go crazy with this. You add all the filters. I mean, you can do like some stupid shit with it. I have never done anything like that. I got first turned on by this by Diabetes, who gave me some settings. I think now he just uses Reshade. I don't know if he actually uses the actual NVIDIA filters anymore, but I still do because I personally have never used Reshade, and I really don't plan on using Reshade. So we'll just do this add filter. The only thing that I do, you can change some stuff to make other things kind of pop. But for me personally, I only do the details. As you can see, it makes it look really grainy and off. That's why everyone always asks me, hey, why is your sharpness so high, or why is everything so pixelated? This is probably the reason. So we go into the details. I mean, you can make everything from like super nasty clarity, you know, to whatever you want. I have my sharpness set to 21%, clarity at 100, my toning at 77, and my bloom at 0. Because whenever the bloom goes up, obviously it gives it bloom. Hence why it's like that. And you can adjust your toning. Your colors may be different than mine, as far as because your monitor and everything like that. So it may be just a tad bit different. So you may have to change your toning just a hair. And that's why this NVIDIA setting, if you're using NVIDIA, sorry for anybody else that does not have NVIDIA, do apologize. But if you do have NVIDIA and you want to change and look at some of these settings, definitely play around with it. I know a lot of people have been asking me, you know, what filters that I've used and stuff. And I just don't like the blurriness, okay? I've never liked any of that in the games. My sharpness is usually higher because with your sharpness higher, it allows other things, other aspects of the game to kind of pop out, especially players. It allows things to move, to be more clear, because if you have a lot of blur and grain and some other shit on your screen, there'll be a player that maybe moves to the right, sneaking or, just looking at you, and you wouldn't be able to see that. So with the sharpness kind of up and all the other blurriness and bloom and everything out of the way, you're able to see small, more precision movements and pick up on that out of your peripherals or even just on direct line of sight. And you're able to, either correct on it, whether that's your movement or, get a shot off before they do. All right. So as you can see here, we are on customs. And I play customs a lot. Actually, surprisingly, like I said in last night's stream, I haven't played customs in quite a while. That's why I was having such a blast last night, that I actually neglected to feed the missus. But that's neither here nor there. It is in the future. And we're sitting here at customs right now, and I spotted a couple guys. That's what prompted this whole video. And really, here's the thing. So I'm using SV98. As a matter of fact, this was pretty much the exact loadout. Now, I recommend, and I tell this to people all the time, they ask me, I like to play really slow and stealthy, so I'll walk like this, so my gun is always on my screen, so that takes up some of my screen real estate, especially the larger the gun, the more screen real estate it takes up, and, the larger the optic, the more screen real estate. Anything and everything affects the screen real estate, so I spend less time sprinting, and when I do, I'm constantly free looking. I spend less time sprinting and more time walking, okay? Because that means my gun is in the ready position. All I have to do is either aim or take the shot with a point fire, okay? So my tips that I have to give players an easier line of sight to see things are: do not focus on the center point of your screen. Focus on your peripherals. Focus on your left. Focus on your right. Up, depending on if there's some verticality. Like if I'm walking this way, I've got to look up at camp rocks, okay? You can use the free look, but I don't recommend giving like this. If I'm far free looking when I'm walking, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because if someone's to your right and you get shot at, you have less time to react and figure out where they are to pull up and kill. Okay, if you barely move and someone gets shot at from your right, normally it'll almost be in your line of sight unless it's directly behind you. But even then, if you're this or this, it's not going to matter. So I always say, if you're going to free look when you're just walking, do very small amounts of free looking, and also when you're just walking normal. Everyone always asks me why I have my gun like pointed down. I'm not in the ready aim position. My gun is there, but I'm not ready to snap on somebody unless I do a flick, flick up here to the truck. But when I am down here, okay, because in Tarkov there's hardly any verticality, okay. Reserve is kind of changing that with some of the sniper towers and stuff, but I would never have to worry about up there because these fucking stairs are blocked off, right? It's trash. I wish Battlestate would add some ladder climbing, would open up the stairs, would add a bunch of things. Like in this tower right there, dude, you could see everything. It doesn't make it balanced. Well, no. But we don't want balance in this game. We want realism. And if I was in this realistic setting, I would get up there if I could. If I had the right means. And anyway, we're going on a rant. So I usually look down as I'm walking so I can see everything. I've got nothing blocking my screen real estate up top. Now, if I'm running, you'll see me running straight up. I don't look down like this when I'm running. I look straight up because my gun is off the screen and there's nothing blocking my screen real estate. Like I said, it's all about screen real estate for me. So I'm always looking, and chances are I'm actually looking directly on the center point of my screen right here where my gun is, but I'm not focusing on that. I'm actually focusing on my peripherals, okay? Because if you ever watch something, okay, try to drive down your car, be in the passenger seat, ride with somebody, all right? Or just look out of a window and just stare straight at one point, okay? If something moves in front of you, like right there, this shadow, a bird's shadow just moved in front of that leaf, and my eyes immediately caught it. Okay, so if I'm staring right here out of a window or even in the Tarkov game and something moves, all right, I'm going to immediately look over there and I'm going to see it, okay, because your peripherals pick up on it like crazy. Peripherals are such a great game tactic that not very many people use. And a lot of people use them without thinking that they use them, but just kind of focus on that for just a hair. And I've ranted a little bit, but this is how I spot almost all of my players. That's why I like the slow walk, because there's no noise, intervening with my focus. There's no other movements, like fast movements. So whenever you're walking like this, obviously everything is moving. So I'm just focusing on one point. I don't even touch the mouse to move my camera. I just go back and forth like this. And even the slightest bit of things, like maybe this leaf passes over the tree and some of the textures break, and I see that, and I'll immediately look over there, even though I realize that it's nothing. That's why I'm like, oh, is that a guy? No, it's not a guy. Oh, is that a guy? No, it's not a guy. So it's a powerful thing, and if you guys practice it, you'll get really good at it. Alright, fellas, hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's maybe aimed for the newer players as far as the end tier, and also the very beginning of the video. Maybe people just wanted to see my NVIDIA settings. Again, sorry for those that don't have NVIDIA, but this is just kind of my settings since I don't use Reshade, even though like 6,000 people have been trying to get me to use Reshade. We'll see how it kind of goes, but right now these settings work absolutely perfect. Sometimes when you mess with your NVIDIA settings, though, I have noticed that it will drop your frames just a tad bit, but other than that, it's absolute crystal clear. So we can all thank Diabetes again for this, because he kind of turned me on to it. Without further ado, hit that like button, subscribe, share if you want to, and as always, enjoy.